When it comes to cinema, boredom is highly subjective. What some may see as an artistic and contemplative experience, others might perceive as an endless torture. Long movies, slow-paced narratives, or plots that fail to hold attention can turn even the most promising evenings into a battle against sleep. In this list, we explore 10 films that, for various reasons, have earned the reputation of being among the most boring of all time. Before we begin, let us know in the comments which movie you found the most boring. Now, get ready to discover the titles that have tested the patience of audiences, and perhaps even yours. Number 10. Downsizing, directed by Alexander Payne. When a film begins with a brilliant and innovative premise, audience expectations soar. This is the case with Downsizing, directed by Alexander Payne and starring Matt Damon. The story follows Paul Safranek, a man who decides to shrink himself to just 5 inches tall in an attempt to improve his quality of life and contribute to the planet's sustainability. Despite its intriguing idea, the movie quickly loses its way. After a promising start, Downsizing abandons its central theme and turns into a poorly executed social critique, resulting in a scattered and unengaging narrative. What could have been an original exploration devolves into a slow-moving story lacking emotional impact. Number 9. The Matrix Revolutions, directed by Lana and Lily Wachowski. The third installment of the trilogy, The Matrix Revolutions, attempts to conclude Neo's saga and the battle against the machines, but is often criticized for its chaotic pacing and lack of emotional engagement. Far from the philosophical and innovative charm of the first film, this chapter focuses on lengthy action sequences, such as the battle for Zion, which, while visually impressive, come across as exhausting and unmemorable. The complex plot and underdeveloped characters left many fans disappointed, turning the saga's conclusion into a less engaging experience than anticipated. Number 8. Hulk, directed by Ang Lee. Before Hulk became one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most beloved superheroes, Ang Lee attempted to tell his story with a more introspective and dramatic approach. Hulk focuses on Bruce Banner's origins and the inner conflict that transforms him into the Green Giant, exploring themes of trauma and repressed anger. Despite its ambition, the film is slow and lacking in energy. Lengthy narrative pauses and CGI that wasn't entirely convincing at the time further weighed down the viewing experience. Although it has some interesting moments, Hulk is remembered more for its ability to bore than for its attempt at innovation. Number 7. Robin Hood, directed by Ridley Scott. When Ridley Scott decided to bring the legend of Robin Hood back to the big screen, the idea was to offer a more realistic and dramatic version of the famous outlaw. With Russell Crowe in the lead role, the film promised to reinvent a classic. Unfortunately, the result was a lifeless movie that sacrificed adventure and charisma for a flat narrative lacking memorable moments. Despite its impeccable visual production, Robin Hood failed to capture audiences' attention, coming across as monotonous and uninspired. Number 6. Star Trek: The Motion Picture, directed by Robert Wise. The first Star Trek film was highly anticipated by fans eager to see the adventures of the Enterprise crew on the big screen. The story, revolving around a mysterious space entity threatening Earth, had the potential to launch an epic sci-fi adventure. However, the movie stands out for its extremely slow pacing and extended visual sequences that, while technically impressive, drag the narrative. For die-hard fans, Star Trek, the motion picture holds nostalgic value, but for many, it's a soporific experience lacking the action and emotional tension of the original series. Number 5. The Happening, directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Known for his twists and eerie atmospheres, M. Night Shyamalan delivered a film in The Happening that almost seems to mock its audience. The story follows a mysterious natural phenomenon driving people to mass suicide, centering on a science teacher and his family as they navigate apocalyptic themes. Unfortunately, the result is a slow and occasionally ridiculous narrative that fails to maintain a consistent tone. Poor acting and key scenes lacking emotional weight make for a frustrating experience. Instead of a gripping thriller, The Happening became a test of patience for many viewers. Number 4. Transformers: The Last Knight, directed by Michael Bay. The Transformers saga is known for its spectacular visuals and chaotic storytelling, but with The Last Knight, Michael Bay seems to have reached a breaking point. The film follows Optimus Prime as he faces his creator and a new threat to Earth, with battles and convoluted plots thrown into the mix. Despite the explosions and relentless action, the film is long, disjointed, and lacking a clear focus. What should have been an adrenaline-fueled adventure turns into an endurance test, leaving viewers struggling to care about the characters or story. Even the franchise's most devoted fans found it hard to stay awake. Number 3, Gods and Generals, directed by Ronald F. Maxwell. This prequel to Gettysburg delves into the early days of the American Civil War, aiming to analyze the motivations of the fighters and the experiences of those left behind. With a runtime of nearly 4 hours, Gods and Generals attempts to be a historical epic, but ends up as a prime example of how length doesn't guarantee depth. The film is characterized by two-dimensional characters, lengthy dialogues, and a narrative that struggles to hold the audience's interest. Even the battle scenes, meant to be emotional high points, fall flat. Watching Gods and Generals feels more like an academic chore than a cinematic experience. Number 2, The Snowman, directed by Tomas Alfredson. With a stellar cast led by Michael Fassbender, a best-selling novel as its foundation, and an intriguing premise, The Snowman had all the makings of a gripping thriller. Following a detective investigating a serial killer known as the Snowman Killer, the movie falls far short of expectations. It suffers from a muddled plot that fails to build tension or develop its characters effectively. Despite technical quality and talent, The Snowman lacks coherence and feels monotonous, leaving viewers disengaged and disappointed. Before revealing the top spot, it's worth mentioning 2 films that didn't make the list but deserve a special mention for their ability to divide audiences. The Tree of Life, directed by Terrence Malick. This film by Terrence Malick is often regarded as a cinematic masterpiece for its unique visual style and profound existential themes. However, its extremely slow pace and fragmented narrative left many viewers disoriented and, in some cases, completely bored. For some, it's a meditation on life. For others, an experience best avoided. Blade Runner 2049, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve crafted a visually stunning and atmospheric sequel, but its nearly 3-hour runtime and reflective pacing make it not everyone's cup of tea. While many consider it a masterpiece, others find it excessively slow, struggling to see it through to the end. And now, let's move on to the top spot. Number 1, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, directed by Gore Verbinski. Despite commercial success, the second installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean saga is often criticized for its convoluted plot, excessive runtime, and endless action sequences. At over 2 hours and 20 minutes, the film alternates between forced exposition and action scenes that seem to drag on forever. While Johnny Depp shines as Jack Sparrow and the visual effects are impressive, the movie lacks the freshness and simplicity of the first film. The result is an exhausting and scattered experience, turning what should have been an adventure into an endurance challenge. These were the 10 most boring films of all time, at least according to many viewers. Whether it's slow pacing, confusing plots, or unmet expectations, each of these titles has made its mark. Not always for the right reasons. What about you? Do you agree with this list? What movie made you fight to stay awake? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more rankings and fun facts about cinema. See you next time!